Alright, so we want to verify this identity. We have 1 minus tangent of x times 1 minus cotangent of x, and we want to show that this is equal to 2 minus secant of x times cosecant of x. Now, to verify identities, usually what we do is we pick one of these sides and just work with that one side, do some algebra on it, do some other things, and get it to equal the other side. So here I'll pick the left side here. And as a parentheses, I see a binomial times a binomial, so I'm going to follow that out. Okay, so 1 minus tangent x times 1 minus cotangent of x. When we follow that, we get 1 minus cotangent of x minus tangent of x plus tangent of x times cotangent of x. But we know that these are just reciprocals of each other, right? Tangent and cotangent are reciprocals, so we know that this quantity here will equal 1. Okay, so let me go ahead. Now cotangent is cosine over sine. Tangent is sine over cosine. And I know that this guy is equal to 1. Alright, so look, it's looking like we're getting there, right? We see the 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and combine these. Okay. Now, what you should notice is we do have these fractions here, right? We have these fractions, cosine over sine minus sine over cosine. So what I'm going to do with that is let's just get the LCD, right? The LCD is sine times cosine. So I'm going to put the sine of x times cosine of x. Right? So then what does that mean? What does this fraction need? Right, this fraction needs a cosine. So we're going to be cosine of x squared, right? Because we're going to multiply that by cosine. Now this fraction, right, this fraction needs a sine on the denominator, which means we'll multiply the numerator by sine as well. So we'll get sine squared over sine of x times cosine of x. So now we can actually combine these together, right? Remember, that's the whole point of combining fractions or subtracting fractions, is to combine them into one fraction. So we're going to get 2 minus cosine squared of x. Now here's where you're going to be very careful, okay, because of this minus in front. This actually just distributes, and that becomes a plus. Okay. So we get 2 minus cosine squared x plus sine squared x, and there's a Pythagorean identity, right? The Pythagorean identity says that cosine squared plus sine squared is just equal to 1. So take a look what happens here. We get 2 minus 1 over sine of x times cosine of x. But wait a minute, what is the reciprocal of sine? Right, the reciprocal of sine is cosecant, and the reciprocal of cosine is secant, right? So I didn't write the right side at each step along the way, but this is what we want the final answer to look like, right? So we did all these steps, right? The third step, the fourth step, and now at this point we see that we're actually at the final answer, right? Because the reciprocal of 1 over sine is cosecant, and the reciprocal of cosine is secant. Okay, so there we go. We verified this identity.